Tonight we got on Manny L here to tell us about his vegan energy bars. Stay tuned.
Talking Junk Network,
where entertainment lives.
Welcome to Talking Junk.
I'm your host, Jason Melendez.
Live now every week on Fridays.
Talking Junk.
A multitude of professionals in different aspects, different walks of life.
You have to come on and talk junk like a normal person.
Welcome to Talking Junk, the live interactive podcast that comes to you live every Friday night from YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. I almost said Periscope. I got to change that little graphic up there. How's everybody doing out there in the metaverse? We're going to call it the metaverse from now on. It's out there, man. It's out there. I've been doing some research after this PodFest, and their pod parties are a thing now, and they're like little virtual parties. So stay tuned. We're gonna hit those pretty soon. We'll have a multitude of professionals on there to answer your questions. It'll be $5 admission, but it'll be worth it. Stay tuned for that. But right now, we have a gentleman here that is trying to better people's lives through the one thing everybody loves. Food. Let's get him on. Manny L, how you doing tonight, Manny?
I'm doing fantastic. It's truly a privilege to be on here tonight, and I really look forward to sharing my experience as a entrepreneur and also a business leader in corporate America. I think having played both sides of the spectrum, I definitely have a very unique experience. If there's one thing that it teaches you how to manage your time very, very well.
Well, the pleasure is all ours, and we're grateful that you were able to manage your time enough to come on the show.
Anything for you, my friend.
Thank you. Now, Heaven's Pantry. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course, Heaven's Pantry was a idea that started off in a kitchen. So it was me and my very good friend Robert Marchione. Him and I went to school together, and we became very good friends because one day I was a competitive Super Smash Brothers Melee player. A lot of people say video games are for losers. Well, they can go screw
No, they're
themselves.
not. Yes,
They can absolutely go screw themselves because let's just say I definitely am not what society would consider a loser. And I really hate that dichotomy as well. I really dislike that dichotomy of saying, oh, this guy's automatically a loser because he does this or that. No, I think people should be able to do what they want as long as they live productive lives and add more to society than they take. And that's one thing I have always made it my mission. Every day when I wake up in the morning, I want to make sure that like we all have to take from this world. Like for example, we need to consume resources to survive. I need to take I'm going to take a little bit of water from this planet right now because I'm a little bit thirsty, and I do want enough energy to continue doing this podcast. So give me a second here. Much better, but much better. But as I was saying, we all need to take some resources from this world to survive. But I want to make sure that I'm always giving more resources to this world, and I can produce more than I consume. That's something that has been drilled into my head ever since I was young, and that's something that's really carried me to success later on in life. But
you really are a testament to the rest of us. We need to learn from you.
Thank you. I feel like you can learn a little bit from everyone. Like I certainly learned a lot from you just by talking to you.
Thank you. I haven't said much, so thank you.
Yeah, I was a competitive video game player back in the day, and I was top 50 in New Jersey, one of the most competitive regions for Super Smash Brothers. And then one of my I became very well known in my university for being like very good at Super Smash Brothers Melee. And then
now we have to know who are your characters of choice.
I played a few. I think Melee teaches you how to think in a very analytical manner, and similarly to how similarly to how there's strategy in competitive sports. There's strategy in competitive esports as well.
Oh,
Did you
most
know?
definitely.
Do you know that the game Super Smash Brothers sometimes is like a game of rock, paper, scissors? I'll give you an example, okay? Um, Jigglypuff, who was my main character, great character, but has a terrible matchup against Fox. Fox is arguably the best character in the game, but Fox actually the metagame has changed significantly now, but back when I was competing, Marth was considered a winning matchup against Fox. So I learned Marth just to counter, uh, against Fox. And but the thing is, Jigglypuff also has a very a lot of people nowadays would say that it's not a winning matchup, but at that time I thought it was a winning matchup given given the metagame of yesteryear. Jigglypuff was actually able to uh, have a competitive edge against Marth. So what does that mean? Uh, I th- I calibrated my style of play based on my innate weaknesses and strength. So I'll give you an example. I was never good with dexterity, eye-hand coordination. That was always my weakness, but I excel at thinking 2, 3 steps ahead of my opponent. So when I played characters like Jigglypuff, when I played characters like Marth, it capitalizes on my ability to think ahead, plan ahead, and execute. And
Okay.
I also had a I also had a Sheik in the back of my pocket as well, which was more. I kept it as more of like an ace in the sleeve kind of a character that would catch people off by surprise because in my city, people know me for being a very deadly Jigglypuff player. I was very good at Jigglypuff, and then but obviously Jigglypuff does get countered by certain strategies. When when I think the best way to fight a Jigglypuff is to be patient, to accept that it's going to be a battle of attrition, a test of willpower. When I'm faced against someone who's able to play that game of attrition, uh, sometimes I need an ace in my sleeve to throw them off a little bit, and that's where my Sheik came out.
All
So,
right.
so back to our story. Me and my friend Rob, we actually got to know each other because of me playing competitive melee. He knew me. He knew me as one of the best in the school, and then we were
How
all
many times you whipped his ass?
a lot of times, a lot of times, a lot of times. I don't think he ever caught up to me in melee, by the way. But in Smash Ultimate, he did end up catching up to me, which is the newer version.
I'm
Uh,
more of a Marvel versus Capcom guy myself.
oh man, that game is heavy tech skill. It's very
It's
it's very
awesome.
tech heavy. Very requires a lot of precise inputs.
Right. There's a lot of combo play in that game.
So him and I became very good friends because I kind of taught him how to play, and then he ended up becoming one of the top 10 players in the school in his own right as well. Um, so, s- so we became very good friends because I taught him how to play melee, and we always kept in touch after college. Sometimes I would go to his house to play melee, where I would whoop his ass, and then some and then over time in Smash Ultimate, he would get a little bit of revenge and kick my ass as well. So so the odds have finally evened out. So he has a game that he's better at, and I have a game that I'm better at. Unfortunately, I don't have the. Unfortunately, as you know, playing at a high level for those games really takes a toll on you. Uh, for one, after I started working, didn't have all the spare time from college. I didn't have time to continue competing at a high level.
Right.
But the appreciation of the game that never left me. So whenever I get the chance, I still brush off my controller, play a few casual matches, and I kept in touch with my friend as well. So whenever I went to his place, he loved to cook, and he is very passionate about being healthy. Health is something that's really important. Health is really something that's really important to me. Okay, I think health is, you know, people say health is the one thing, the most valuable thing in life, because without health you won't have the energy to get up and work. You won't without health you won't be able to go out, see your friends, see your family, hang out with the people that you care about. Without health you won't be able to move the mountains and shape the world to be the way that you wanted to be. So
Right.
health was something that we decided as a business to never compromise on. So the Excalibar business, we started off cutting energy bars by hand. One thing Rob always said was, "Hey, I like brownies. Brownies are freaking delicious. Who doesn't like brownies?"
Right.
But
Who doesn't like brownies?
like, who doesn't like brownies? I get it if you don't like chocolate, but if you like chocolate, if you like baked goods, you'll probably like brownies. But brownies are extremely unhealthy. They're chock full of sugars. They're chock full of fats. Uh, you know, artificial ingredients. And then we decided, how can we imitate the taste of a brownie using fruits, nuts, and cocoa powder? After many iterations, some of them which I will admit they did not taste very good, and that's not the iteration that made it to the public. I do want to spare your taste buds after all.
Trial by fire, man. It's a tough thing, but somebody's got to taste it out.
Well, speaking of fire, we didn't burn the apartment down yet, so I
Thank
think
God.
So I think the good thing is trial by fire. We still made it out alive. But we created a recipe that I thought it was freaking delicious, but obviously, as a business person, you can think your product's the best in the world. You can think that you have something so amazing, so revolutionary, but the market humbles people very, very quickly.
Oh, yes, it
There
does.
is nothing, and I have said this. I've mentored countless people before, and in my professional life, I believe that there is nothing more humbling than putting yourself out there, not being afraid to fail, and letting others judge you. And
Right. You got to crawl before you walk.
exactly. And we were really fortunate that it wasn't something that just we enjoyed. The markets actually, we used to sell them at a local farmers market in Easton, Pennsylvania, and that ended up doing very, very well. So we scaled up. We rented out a commercial kitchen. That ended up that ended up closing down because the business, not our business, but the commercial kitchen, um, ran into some financial difficulties, which was a shame because
During the
many
pandemic.
that was definitely a factor. That was definitely a factor. The pandemic did not do us any favors, but you know, after that after that facility shut down, it was another trial by fire. We were not sure how to continue. Obviously, we couldn't make it out of our own kitchen anymore because that was not a viable solution. So
Right.
what we decided to do, we just we decided to scale it up and rent out a factory. So we
You
we
can
got
rent factories out?
yeah, you can actually pay per bar. So
Wow.
you're paying for the usage of the factory.
Now, what do? You just provide the ingredients and they just manufacture it for you?
Yes, sir. And we gave him our recipe as well. So
Okay.
when we were working out the deal with the factory, we said there's one thing that we absolutely cannot compromise on. This bar is delicious. It tastes like a brownie and it only has 6 natural ingredients. And each ingredient has a purpose that's in it. I don't like putting ingredients in something just for the sake of it or just to add fluff or bulk. Every ingredient has a unique health benefit. It was carefully selected. So I told them you have to stick to those 6 ingredients. Um, and we need to emulate this taste. We're not compromising on health and we're not compromising on taste as well. And
Right.
let me
It's
ask,
my way or the highway.
well, no, it's not exactly my way or the highway. There's certain because we did actually end up making a few tweaks. So we decided to add coconut oil in higher quantities because the original formulation was a little bit dry. So I I actually, I mean, it's kind of funny. Like dry brownies just don't taste good.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Pardon
So
me, I'm sorry. Ooh,
no problem. I know it's the end of the day.
no, I've been up since 3 in the morning.
I feel you. I feel you. I woke up at 6 today, so not much better.
Yeah, you know how it is. You got the 9 to 5, then you got your side hustle,
Yeah.
your pet, the one that you're passionate about, which is your Excalibar, and you just get on stuff like this after just to make it work.
Absolutely, my man. So coconut oil adds that moisture, gives a more buttery taste, um, without all that artery clogging gunk that's in margarine or butter or whatever. And
Right. It has more health benefits.
yeah, so I think that as a entrepreneur, it's so critical to be open to feedback. Uh, I actually think people who say my way or the highway don't end up making it very far.
I guess I don't have too much further to go.
Yeah. I say this because once again, you can have this vision, you can be all high and mighty, you can say, "Hey, I have the best product, my way or the highway, no compromise." And then when you put it in the mouths of your consumers, right? Uh, if you don't have the proper formulation, they're going to shut your business down real quick.
Right.
Especially in today's world, where on Amazon, if I think that today is such a great time to be a consumer. Minus the inflation, of course. That's a different story for a different day. But
It
I
most
think that
certainly is. That's a
nowadays
whole nother episode.
that's a whole nother episode. That like if you ever want me to speak about that, I be more than happy to speak about that. But it'll be as a it won't be as an entrepreneur. It'll be on a different basis. But what I was saying is that with today's world, information is very democratized. Consumers are more educated than ever. When I'm looking to if someone's pitching me a product, the first thing that I do is I go on Google, I Google the product, I see if it's on Amazon, I see what other people are saying about that product. Um, I feel very good because my Amazon reviews, um, we have 27 reviews in total. We have 26 5-star reviews, and we have one 4-star review. So our customer satisfaction rate is incredibly high, and I credit that to taking feedback from the consumer. You guys are the ultimately. I'm not doing it for myself. If I want to do this for myself, right? I would probably just cut up energy bars in my kitchen, enjoy those as a snack, live off of my corporate paycheck, and then call it a day. But
Right.
I am so passionate about creating
Or you
food.
would or you would cut it down and make more for your buck. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
cheapen the ingredients,
exactly.
make it so that you can mass produce it, and then just sell it out there.
And a lot of people have asked me, "Hey, Manny, you would make so much more money if if you cheapen the ingredients, if you cut corners." But that's not how I want to operate. I think that there is something there that's more important than money, and it's something that once you sell it away, money cannot buy it back. And that thing, my friend, is dignity. You can never buy dignity back once you sell it out the window. And I'm holding on to my dignity with dear life.
Right. I think Scarface said it the best.
Yeah,
All I have in this world are my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one.
exactly. So that's really what I credit to our high reviews on Amazon, being willing to adapt, being willing to listen to the consumer, and
Let's
while
read some of those reviews if you don't mind.
let's do it.
We got a review here from Spencer Lamb. He is a verified Amazon purchase, and he says these bars are absolutely delicious. They have a rich but not overwhelming coca flavor, which really pops with the fruit ingredients too. No added sugar is a big plus to me, and while I'm not vegan, that consideration is appreciated. I have purchased 2 boxes of Excalibars, and so long as the quality ingredients continue to shine, I will continue to buy them. Can't recommend enough. David Z says, great tasting chocolate flavored energy bar. Keeps me satisfied when I get hungry. Also perfect for a grab and go breakfast when I don't have time to cook. Simple and natural ingredients, highly recommended. And it just, like you said, it just keeps going and going to 5-star reviews. Let's see what this 4-star guy had to say. Why couldn't he give you that extra star? Let's see. The startup owners were promoting this at a race today. I did eat the complimentary one. It was chocolate with nuts. Good. It crumbles a bit, but overall, I'd enjoyed it and tasty. I recommend. So overall, Miss Bonnie Carowin, you are a dick.
I wouldn't call her a dick. I think her. I,
She enjoyed it. There's no reason she couldn't give you that extra star.
I,
5-star ratings are all the
all the rage.
right.
Kinda
It's what you
kinda
do
like
it
Uber,
for.
right? With Uber, you're supposed to give people 5 stars unless there's something terribly wrong, and that's where you take off a star.
Exactly.
I will say, in all seriousness, to Miss Bonnie Caravan, your feedback is actually genuinely appreciated, and I'd like to take the time to address that point of feedback. Which when I read my reviews every day, and when someone has a less than perfect review, I call up my partners and I asked, "Hey, how can we modify this to better satisfy people?"
Right. It
And
motivates you to be better.
exactly, 100%. And the thing about Bonnie Caravan's interesting case study, the 4-star review, is that this actually taught us something about trade-offs. So, one of the reasons why a lot of bars in the market stick together, her her one gripe against our energy bar is that it
It
doesn't
crumbles.
it crumbles, right? It doesn't bind together. And I'll tell you how a lot of energy bar companies are able to get it to bind together. There are binding agents out there that are chock full of artificial ingredients that you could put into their recipe. You could make it a perfectly binding bar, and yes, it would be a little bit less messy. But then I will also sacrifice health. So
Right.
when when we had this when we had this conference call with my partners, and I brought this up, we all decided, because I don't come from a materials engineering background. I am an engineer by trade, but I do a different kind of engineering. Whereas my partners, they do have that kind of production line experience. That's what they're formally trained in. And one of my one of my partners is actually a chemical engineer, so he knows all about how ingredients binds together. He knows all about food science. But uh,
Hey,
when
that
we
helps when you're trying to start a food business. So
exactly, and a lot of business is really, I think a lot of successful business and a lot of successful management in corporate America is knowing and having the guts to admit when you are not the expert. When I'm an expert in something, I tell, and I get challenged. I'd say, this is my credentials, this is my experience, this makes me qualified to give this opinion. You're free to you're free to listen to this opinion, which I worked a very long time to acquire. And you're also free to ignore it at your own detriment if you're my superior or you're the decision maker. And here are all the facts. Uh, if you make this decision, this is what can go wrong. This is what you'll have to give up. If you make this decision, this is what's going to go well. And that's my mentality when it comes to what I'm personally an expert at. When I am not an
right.
expert at something, I think the worst that you can do is pretend to be an expert. And I see that kind of hubris happening a lot in our society, in our country.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I blame it on
we
the internet.
Exactly, and the internet, everyone wants to act like an expert, act like they're a prophet. They know what's up. They know how the world runs. When in reality, they're not an experts. Anyone can claim to be an expert on the internet, but when I'm not an expert on something, I like to step aside, and I like to, I will acknowledge, hey, I'm not qualified to give you opinion on this. Um, Let me find you someone who is, or let me defer to the authority on this subject matter. And my partners, we all decided, hey, the binding agents would sacrifice the taste. It would sacrifice the health. It's not gonna affect the taste. It's going to maybe make it a little bit more presentable, but the trade-off wasn't worth it. If we are to add a binding agent in the future, it might be a all-natural ingredient such as egg whites. It may raise the cost of the product,
Right.
and I
What about
also want
peanut butter?
peanut butter is a very good agent as well, but some people have allergies to it.
Right. But some people have allergies to egg whites as well.
Yes. So this is where it gets very tricky. This is where it
Right.
gets very tricky. So
But you already have nuts in your stuff, right?
we don't have tree nuts. We have almonds and we have cashews.
Well, from experience, because my daughter's allergic, when you're allergic to one nut, you're allergic to a plethora of nuts.
Yes.
Most of the time, it's all of them, but in some rare cases, you're just allergic to one or two. So I don't think adding peanut butter will hurt too much in the future.
That is something I'm very open to, actually. And by the way, to the people who are listening here, one of our pet projects is actually launching a peanut butter flavor. So that's
Okay.
if we have a good year, we'll have the budget to begin works on that next year. So hey guys, if you want some delicious peanut butter Excalibars, show us some love on Amazon. 27 highly satisfied customers reviewing it, putting their names out there. It's a good product, and I fully stand behind it.
Yes, and since Manny is so giving in his nature, he gave us a code that is right there on the bottom of the screen. So definitely put in the HP Street 20 for 20% off your first order on those Excalibars. And then leave a review. Leave a 5-star review. Don't be a Bonnie.
Absolutely.
Listen, Bonnie, don't take it personal. The dickhead
Bonnie,
band.
whatever you said is highly appreciated.
Right, and it was viable for your opinion. However, it is my job to heckle you. So don't take any offense to it. That is what I do. I am a podcaster.
You're a professional heckler.
Right, exactly.
I think oftentimes, like, have you noticed how entertainment is becoming a lot more democratized in today's society? In the like, if you look at like the movie industry, the Hollywood industry, maybe sometime in the 80s and 90s, they were all like centered around a few stars, the big A-listers. They would pay them outlandish sums of money to show up on screen, charm the audience. And one thing I have noticed in today's content creation economy is that anyone with a passion can get up and make their dent on the universe. I feel that you and I are as digital content creators, we're kind of the new court jesters for society. We're the new
Exactly.
entertainers. Our
That's a
job is
great
to
way
keep
put
people
it. I
yeah,
love to be a court jester.
like some people, if they take themselves really seriously, they'll say, "Oh man, I'm an entertainer." But I like to be a little bit more lighthearted. I like to think of myself as a court jester because I'm here to entertain. I mean, if even if you don't buy my energy bars, I think you should. But
I think
if
you
you
should too.
I think you should. But even if you don't, even if you don't buy them, if you leave with a few laughs, with a smile on your face, I am genuinely happy, man. I'm genuinely happy, and that's how I feel when I go to events as well. One thing that I do to promote and market is that uh, I think as a small brand, one competitive advantage that I have is that I am not a big soulless corporation. When people see a face, when people see a long-haired, smiling, hippie-looking dude, wearing a tank top or whatever,
And you
they
got the voice to match, man.
thank you, thank
You
you.
got a killer voice. You ever thought about doing voiceover work?
I actually have back when I was in university.
Okay. So
It was a lot of fun. and
I gotta put a little bass in my voice to sound like that.
it was a lot of fun, and there's a reason why I've been doing a lot of these podcasts recently, because I have the itch to go back into broadcasting and leveraging my voice, to make my dent in the universe. But when
Right.
I have these events, one of the one of the things I greatly enjoy is being able to meet people, being able to shake hands, being able to give people a taste of my hard work, and that is what I think the competitive advantage a small business can have over a big business. I'll give you an example of a competitor. Okay, I don't like to trash talk competitors. When I do business, I don't do business by stepping on other people. I do
Hey,
business by
Manny, listen. Look up for real quick on your screen. You see that right there? It says talking junk. You can say whatever the hell you want, brother. This is a safe zone.
Oh, absolutely it is. It
Trash
absolutely
those
is.
competitors.
Crush them like a trash compactor, right? But no, what I will say is that I don't like to step on people. I like
Right.
to spread my wings. I actually want to credit one of my mentors, a very good friend of mine. His name's Narain. I used to work for him. Now he's just a good friend of mine. So one thing that he taught me is that when you're dealing with competitors, you don't want to you don't want to dog people out. You don't want to step on people. Rather, you want to sprout a pair of wings and soar above them like an eagle.
Class and professionalism. I
Yeah.
had a boss tell me early on when I started working. He said, young man, you want to kill them with kindness, because there's nothing worse than you giving all your anger and energy to somebody and them smiling in your face and
Do you
still
have
giving you a great service.
are you familiar with a general? His name is General Mattis, James Mattis.
I am not.
So General Mattis is I believe he's a commandant of the Marine Corps, or he was, and he had this phrase: "Be polite, be professional, but have a plan to kill everyone who stands in your way."
That is a great quote. Great
Very
quote.
badass, right?
You said General Mathis?
Yeah, General Mattis. They call him the Mad Dog. James
All right.
N. Mattis, former
Definitely,
United States Secretary of Defense.
definitely gonna look that up.
So I I really think
Love you too.
I know, right? Uh, I'm hearing a little bit of playback actually.
Are you?
I
I don't
am.
hear. I'm not hearing anything on my end. You sound perfect here, unless you're getting it on. Let me see.
I'm hearing it on my end.
Yeah, I'm muted. I don't think that's gonna come out though. We should be
Got it.
okay.
Cool. And then I'll mentally drown off the playback in my head.
That's hard to do, man. I understand.
No, it's doable. It's doable. It's just gonna take a little bit more concentration. But anyways, the other thing I wanted to talk about was when you're looking for food, right? When you're looking for health food, what do you look for as a consumer? What do you want what are some of the effects that you want to feel when you're eating something healthy?
I want to feel good about it. One of the things that I hate to
Mhm.
get when I'm eating, and it's mainly junk because I am a unhealthy sack of shit. I need to get my diet right, and we're all guilty of it. But one thing I hate to feel, and you feel it a lot when you
Mhm.
eat a lot of processed foods, is gut rot. You hate it. It's disgusting. And yes, Jasmine, energy is one of them.
Love it, love it. Energy. They say, they always say like, look good, feel good, or you are what you put into your body,
Right. You
etc.
are what you eat.
Everyone wants to, everyone wants to feel good at the end of the day. And by the way, early on in my career, I used to work 60, 70 hours a week at a large consultancy, and that left me very little time to be healthy. And I don't regret it because no pain, no gain. But one thing that I noticed while I was working that job was that you know one of the perks was that they would give you free coffee, and the lower you are on the totem pole, I was always the coffee boy. Okay, I was always the coffee boy, which is great because because that was one of the few chances I had to get out of the office for the day. So that, that was a very welcome sign of relief when my superiors would be like, "Hey man, it's time to get us the coffee. Make
Yes,
sure you
fresh air.
exactly. Yeah, yes, I got to go out of the office. Like, I might actually get to see sunlight because I remember during like the busiest times, you would essentially, I left the house at 7 o'clock, got in the office uh, at like around 8, and then left at 11. So my coffee run was like that one time of the day when I would see sunlight during the busy seasons.
Damn.
And yeah, so as you can tell, my health definitely took a little bit of a hit. And then, but I still wanted to make an effort to eat well. I still, wanted to, I still wanted to take pride in being a healthy human being. And after one of the perks is the free coffee because yes, I got them the coffees, and one of the perks was that they will also give us a free coffee as well. And that free coffee got me awake. But in the middle of the day, I would crash and I would ask myself, what is happening? I just I just got really geeked up on a cup of nitro cold brew from Starbucks. And by the way, if anyone has ever had nitro, have you ever had nitro cold brew before?
I have not. I'm
That's
not much of a coffee person.
So there's one thing that you should know about nitro cold brew from Starbucks, that it's strong as hell. It's it's strong as hell, and there's a reason. There's a reason why they don't sell. There's a reason why they don't sell the ventis, or like the largest ones that are this big. They actually don't sell the really big ones at Starbucks because let's just say they would have a lot more people getting strokes and heart attacks if you have people downing a venti like in one
Oh
sitting.
yeah.
But I would have my nitro in the morning, and like I would just utterly crash in the afternoon, and I would ask myself, why am I crashing? So when we formulated the Excalibar for Heaven's Pantry, and we pick each ingredient, um, and I wanted to touch upon how we pick those ingredients. So when I formulated this, I wanted to present this as a alternative to getting really, really hyper on caffeine because some people are actually very sensitive to caffeine. Some people are very sensitive and they have
Right.
a little bit
Which is
too
why
much.
you don't give your kids soda.
Yes, yes. Uh, I, I think soft drinks is probably the leading cause of obesity in the States, by the way.
One of the leading. Yep.
Yeah,
Most
well, it's
definitely.
soft drinks and sitting on your ass for the whole day.
You gotta mix fast food in there too.
Yeah. So our ingredients were formulated to give you a burst of energy without actually having any caffeine in it. And one of the one of the benefits for our energy bars that the nuts are the ultimate brain food. Your brain actually runs on your brain actually runs on a lot of calories and and, and what we provide with our almonds and our cashews is that I think the almonds and the cashews, I mean, I know n equals one. I'm just one data point, but I've talked to a lot of my friends as well. They said that by eating the bar, it actually it actually increases their cognitive function. It helps them become less tired. And I'll give my mandatory disclaimer. This product is not intended to treat or diagnose any disease, and it has not been screened or approved by the FDA. There you go. There's my disclaimer. So please don't sue me. I'm just a small businessman trying to make his way in the universe. But I will say this. When I was young, you know, I think when I was young, academics was very stressed. Okay, in my household, and I think I credit that to my Asian upbringing, and I look back on it with a lot of gratitude because you know I think that developing the ability to think critically, being able to focus was really really helped me out later on in life. But one thing that I will always do when I was grinding out a problem set for math, when I was grinding out a problem set for for writing, for science, whatever, was that my father would actually give me a bowl of cashews, and that was actually a trick that he learned when he was putting himself through grad school. And there's one thing I noticed when I had that bowl of cashews, I functioned so much better than without those bowl of cashews. And that was actually one of the inspirations for putting in cashews in the Excalibar. So, Dad, I want to say thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
I'm actually
Dad. Thank you.
I'm actually visiting my parents, for the week. So I'm sure they can probably hear. I'm sure they're probably listening to this podcast in the background. But yeah,
That's cool. Mom and Dad L, thank you for tuning in.
Mom and Dad, thank you. But also, there's one thing I really enjoy about visiting my parents is that oh man, there is nothing better than home cooked Asian food.
Oh man, I could just imagine.
Yeah, but it turns out that the walnuts actually have some sort of fats that there's studies out there, and obviously the evidence is inconclusive, but it has been linked to superior cognitive function as well. Like, if you do some googling, you'll quickly find out that a lot of studies are linking cashews with enhanced cognitive function. So a lot of these ingredients help your cognitive abilities, and they also and cocoa helps your cardiovascular system as well. Cocoa is actually linked to superior blood flow and circulation. Also, also a big part of you know, also a big part of cognitive performance as well. Hey, if you can get the blood flow into your brain, I'm sure you're going to be able to focus a little bit better. You're going to be perform a little bit better on the job, etc. And
Right, you won't be stroking out.
very morbid, by the way. Very morbid for such very, very morbid for a Friday evening podcast, man. Very
It happens sometimes.
the
It
almonds.
was meant to be a pun, but you know.
I love it. I love it. That's the kind of you know I I have a I low key kind of enjoy dark humor, by the way, because the thing about dark humor is that dark humor teaches us not to take ourselves so seriously.
Right.
Dark humor reminds us that we are still mortal human beings at the end of the day. And that is why I think whoever's listening in on this podcast, right? I encourage each and one of you to keep that in the back of your mind as you walk through life and you make decisions. I the thing that I don't want anyone to become is to be that guy who's 80 years old and living a life full of regret, not chasing their dreams, not doing what they're passionate about. I'm not saying do it in a reckless way. Okay, I'm not saying do it in a reckless way because there's there's such thing as intelligent risk taking, like for example, starting a business, uh, or
Right.
asking out a girl that you're interested in, or moving to a different state that you haven't been in before. That's all very positive risks with a lot of upside.
Right.
But like what's a stupid like risk that people take for the hell of it? I don't know, maybe riding a motorcycle without a helmet, um, not not getting your annual checkup or physical exam by your doctor, or I don't know, skydiving without a parachute. Now that's
Right.
I know each one of these is getting more and more extreme, but what I'm saying is that
Aren't there people that free dive?
yes, and I really there is not. I hate to say it. If you guaranteed that if someone offered to buy $5 million worth of energy bars in exchange for me free diving, I probably would not take that money.
Well, hey, as long as you give me one of those millions, I'll free dive for you. I
Yeah,
will free dive for you in a heartbeat.
if only that 1 million could be used to bring you back to life when you fall face flat on the ground, right?
It may be able to. At the very least, it'll give me my legs back.
But what I was saying earlier is I think people need to remember that they're mortal human beings when they're afraid to not chase their dreams. And yes, as I was saying earlier, with putting yourself out there, being open to rejection, being open to people invalidating your idea or product, right? I think it's an ego thing at the end of the day. We're taught from an early age by society that failure is a bad thing. But no, there is no better teacher than failure. The I think the smart people can learn from other people's failures and avoid their mistakes. And if you're not so smart like myself, you go out, you fail, you get your ass handed to you, and then you learn, you get back on your feet, and you live in a day.
Exactly. There's no better lesson than failing 9 times, but getting up 10.
Yeah. And when you fail, try to fail upward. It's
Right.
actually it's actually interesting how the concept of failing upward. What do you think of failing upward? What do you think of that whole like phrase like failing upward?
You elevate yourself by failing. So
Yep.
you're learning from your mistakes. You're making sure that the past doesn't repeat itself and you won't make those same mistakes next time. So therefore, by failing, you are elevating yourself higher than you were before because you have the knowledge not to make those same mistakes.
100%. I I think that if you're not willing to get out and get your ass kicked, you're gonna get your ass kicked by you're gonna get at your ass kicked by the never ending scythe of regret at the end of your life.
Right.
So that's why I do this. I am doing this because uh, I'm doing this because I want to leave the world better than I found it. I know that I know that I'm just one guy out of a sea of many different many different options and choices out there. And when I see how a lot of people have told me when I started Heaven's Pantry, this is a saturated niche. This is really competitive. It's you're never gonna make it. And little do they know that we would end up getting top 100 in our category for Amazon. For we were probably averaging like top 80, top 90 for the fruit and nut bar category. Sometimes we go, sometimes we go even higher. Sometimes we go a little bit lower, but it's definitely went a lot better than I expected. And even if it didn't, there is no better teacher than experience. I'm doing this because I want to leave the world better than I found it by providing another choice. And when people compete out in the open markets with all these products, the people who win at the end of the day is the consumers. Okay, uh, I'll give you an example of a service that absolutely sucks because there is no competition. There's a monopoly. Are you happy with Are you happy with your internet provider?
I'm pretty sure they're listening to me right now. So, no, I got like one of the highest packages, and it's still
It's still mediocre, right?
right, right.
Yeah, it's still mediocre. Now, what about airlines?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't flown since I was 10 years old, and I'm going to be 35 this year. So I couldn't tell you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
So airlines, another example. You look at anyone who's reading this right now, Google Spirit Airlines, Frontier Airlines, etc. You'll see a whole list of really pissed off, angry people. By the way, I actually was stranded in Medellin for 24 hours thanks to Spirit Airlines. So if anyone's ever watching this, please pay the extra $200 so you don't have to repeat that experience.
Oh my God.
Your time is worth more than saving $200. but
Shame on you, Spirit. Manny is a very busy man. He needs to get where he's going.
exactly. But airlines, right? Airlines oftentimes get blasted for having terrible customer service, having having high prices, and I'm based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. American
Hey, we're not
Airlines.
too far from each other.
Really? Where are you?
I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay. So American Airlines has a chokehold, has a monopoly on the Charlotte airport. And because of this, the prices are way above the national average, and they still can afford to get flights canceled and bailed on all the time because they don't care. They're the only game in town. I mean, yes, there's Delta, yes, there's United, but American has the majority of the flights, and that's why they can get away with it. Another
That's
example of
interesting. I didn't know that.
like your internet provider, they can get away with doing whatever. They can get away with doing whatever the hell they want because, what provider do you use?
At the moment, I believe we have Spectrum.
Ah, when I moved into my place in North Carolina, and it was supposed to come with it would come with a Spectrum box. My Spectrum box didn't even work. The lights wouldn't even turn on. I I got put on hold with them for like 3 hours, waited in line for another 2 hours, and then I finally got my freaking box, and then was finally happy because I can go back online and you know and do what I had to do. But you see, they can get away
Brother, I
with
feel your pain.
they can
We
get
are
away with
going
that
on.
kind of customer service because they're the only game in town. I'm in New
Mhm.
Jersey visiting my parents for the week. Comcast is the only game in town. They also pay for the special premium package, and the upload speed is a little bit slower than what the people promised at Comcast. So
A lot a bit slower.
thank you for correcting me. I was trying to give him a little bit of credit, but thank you for just cutting straight to the point and saying it how it is. But any field where you have no competition, the customer always loses. A field where there's a lot of competition, like the energy bar business, I think the customer wins. For example, when I see other bars out there with low prices, that forces me to lower my prices, which is good. I know it cuts into my profits. I'm perfectly cognizant of that, but I'm very happy at the end of the day that you guys are getting a cheaper product. There's whenever someone chooses to do business with us or buy our bars, uh, ultimately, I recognized, hey, you have so many other options. Unlike American Airlines, when they give their speech and say, hey, we're so happy you have so many options, but you chose us. Well, I chose them because they're the only game in town. With energy bars, I know you guys can eat a Cliff bar. I know you guys can eat a Lar bar. I know you guys can eat a Gatorade bar. So it motivates me. It motivates us to do a better job and differentiate. So yes, even though it's competitive, even though it's saturated, I feel good playing in this game because even if I don't win at the end of the day, I have a day job. I love what I do, both in my day job and also outside as well. And if only you guys end up winning, as long as I can stay in business, break even, I'm a happy man.
And that's you are a testament, my friend. And I know that's the second time I said that today, but it is true. You truly show that you have a message to send and you are gonna do it through your bars. And I commend you for it.
Thank you. This really means a lot to me.
We're all better human beings just by being in your presence. So thank you.
We're all better beings by being in your presence. And I really want to thank the audience today. When I see the audience interacting with us, when I see the people who are really engaged, the people commenting in the chat, I want to say that you guys put a smile on my face. And I really hope I really hope you guys get the chance to try out our Excalibars. And if you like it, the best thing that you can do is share it with your friends, spread the word. Uh,
Yes,
for
most
me to
definitely.
be able to compete with the bigger guys out there, I really rely on word of mouth advertising. I really rely on this grassroots community efforts, and and ultimately we can't do it without you guys. So
Right.
if you show us some love, we'll get that peanut butter flavor out.
Because somebody will definitely take the word of a friend rather than take the word of Bonnie. And just take the word of Heaven's Pantry and get yourself a 12-pack of chocolate energy bar Excalibars with real 6 simple ingredients: dates, cashews, almonds, cocoa powder, coconut oil, and sea salt. Energy on the go. It is the perfect snack to give you energy during a hike, bike, or any workout. And it's clean eating. It's gluten free, all natural, vegan, and no added sugars. No ingredients you can't pronounce. Healthy and tasty. It's Dutch processed cocoa powder. It gives the Excalibar a unique, rich chocolate flavor. And each box contains 12 1.87 ounces. So definitely go to Amazon and pick those up. Put your HP Street 20 code in there for your 20% off your first order, and continue to buy those. Promote good health and make sure Manny L's Heaven's Pantry gets the word of mouth advertisement that it deserves.
In the words of our good friend King Arthur, the leader of the round table, the leader of the round table, huzzah!
Huzzah! My wife hates it when I say that.
And you guys are always free to hit me up on Instagram at any time. My Instagram handle is at Heaven's Pantry. I'm always glued to my phone, so if you guys want to reach out to me, if you guys want to collaborate, or even just have any feedback to give to me, we're always there, and we would love to hear from you.
All right. Well, Manny, thank you. We appreciate you coming on. Don't go nowhere. Let me end this live, and we'll chat a little bit in the back.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Junkers, tune in tomorrow night. The gang will be all there in the break room. We're going to talk skinwalkers tomorrow. According to Navajo lore, we shouldn't be talking about them, which is why we don't have much information on it. It will be one of those black-eyed children episodes, so be sure to tune in tomorrow. Same break room time, same break room place. And again, thank you, Manny, because talking junk on Friday nights wouldn't be what it is without great guests like you. So thank you very much. Junkers, remember to get those Excalibars. You're tired of feeling run down at the end of the day from all those nitro blasts from Starbucks? Get you an Excalibur.